The sun had just begun to set, casting a warm, golden hue over the city as I sat behind the wheel of my car. The day's work was finally coming to an end, and I couldn't wait to get home and relax. As I cruised down the busy streets, my phone buzzed with a new request from Uber. A woman named Emily needed a ride to her destination. As I pulled up to her location, I noticed that she was standing outside of an upscale apartment building. She was stunning, tall, slender, and dressed in a form-fitting black dress that accentuated her curves. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall, and her eyes sparkled with mischief as she approached my car. "Hi there," she said, sliding into the passenger seat. "Thanks for picking me up." I smiled at her, feeling a sudden surge of excitement. "No problem, Emily. Where are we headed tonight?" She gave me directions to a trendy bar downtown, and we set off on our journey. As we drove, I couldn't help but steal glances at her. She seemed so confident and self-assured, and it was clear that she knew exactly what she wanted out of life. As we approached the bar, Emily turned to me with a mischievous grin. "You know, I've always had this fantasy about being picked up by an Uber driver," she confessed. "It just seems so naughty and taboo." I raised an eyebrow at her, feeling my pulse quicken. "Well, Emily, if that's what you're into, then I guess we can make it happen." She laughed softly, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. "Oh, trust me, I know exactly what I want." As we pulled up to the bar, I turned off the engine and looked at her expectantly. She reached over and placed her hand on mine, sending a jolt of electricity through my body. "You know what? Let's skip the bar tonight," she suggested, her voice low and sultry. "I think we have better things to do." Without another word, I nodded in agreement and started driving away from the city center. Emily leaned back in her seat, a satisfied smile playing on her lips as she watched me navigate through the dark streets. After several minutes of driving aimlessly, we finally pulled up to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. The place was deserted, with only the faint glow of streetlights illuminating our surroundings. Emily's eyes sparkled with excitement as she stepped out of the car and walked towards the entrance. "This is perfect," she whispered, her voice filled with anticipation. "No one will disturb us here." I followed her inside, my heart pounding in my chest. The warehouse was dimly lit, with dust particles dancing in the air as we made our way deeper into its depths. We eventually came across a large open space where Emily stopped and turned to face me. "So," she said, running her fingers through her hair, "what do you say we make this fantasy of mine come true?" I swallowed hard, feeling my nerves begin to settle as I took in the sight before me. Emily was standing before me, completely naked, except for a pair of black stilettos that accentuated her long legs. Her body was flawless, toned and tanned, with curves in all the right places. "I think we can definitely make this work," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. As we stood there locked in each other's gaze, something inside me snapped. Without another thought, I reached out and pulled her into my arms, our lips meeting in a passionate kiss that sent waves of pleasure coursing through both of us. We spent the rest of the night exploring every inch of each other's bodies, lost in a haze of desire and lust. It was an experience like no other, one that I would never forget as long as I lived. And though we eventually parted ways, knowing that our paths would likely never cross again, I couldn't help but feel grateful for the brief moment of connection we shared. As I drove home from that fateful encounter, I knew that I had just experienced something truly special. A night filled with passion and excitement that would stay with me forever. And as I pulled up to my own apartment building, I couldn't help but smile at the thought of Emily, knowing that she, too, was probably reliving the memories of our time together. In the end, it didn't matter if we ever saw each other again, because for one night, we had both found something truly extraordinary in the most unexpected of places. And as I climbed into bed and drifted off to sleep, I knew that this was a story I would tell for years to come, a tale of passion and desire that could never be forgotten.